Hello. Well, I haven't uploaded in a while, and I've been thinking about this so many times, man. Last time's got to be months ago again, and I think in my previous one I even said that I would do it more frequently, which I was actually planning on doing. It's just, to be honest, I don't know, I've just been trying to get my mind as far away from this whole thing as possible, and I have been thinking a lot and all that stuff. By the way, I my camera is different now because the whole, like, I put my screen, uh, I kind of put my computer off of the desk so that I have place for other things. But yeah, so anyway, um, and many times I remembered, like, hey, I should be doing this whole fucking thing with the vlogs because it helped me, right? And I don't know if you can see the difference in, like, the way I am or the way I look. Or normally I would be sitting from this side. And yes, I cut my hair short also as well, a little while ago. So I took another leap again. I once again had a had a I don't know what to say, man. This is gonna be a long video. I can tell you already. It's gonna be a long video, but it doesn't matter because it's all to help me. So anyway, I really don't know where to start, and I had once again a leap where I want to now take action, and that's because it's my fear of this whole thing that, yes, I still have, is big enough now. So it's weird to look in the camera. I'll just put myself up a bit higher. Yeah, so my mind's a bit fucked, honestly. I'm really tired. I'm a bit zoning, you know. I'm not on any medicine right now, by the way. I woke up from some sleep and I'm like, and really it's just throwing me off because I don't remember where my last vlog ended. I think I remember that I wanted to do more things with vlogs, and it's months later, so I don't know if this is once again gonna be a futile attempt, but I have a few reasons why it's probably not. It's because at this point, and this is the first time in 2 days that I've been behind my computer screen, which up until this point I have been only behind my computer screen every day in an attempt to get my mind off of things, right? And everybody kept saying, like, oh, you got to focus on other things. Well, what I focus on is I focus on computer stuff because that's what I've been doing my entire life, and that's what I love to do. So I tried to really sit through it and endure, because even though I really look up to this person that I want to be, who, like, takes action and fights, you know, at the same time I kind of and try to endure in the hopes that it would get better by itself, you know. And it's hard to say if it got any better, but I'm still having issues and it's still progressing. And the reason I haven't been behind my computer the last 2 days and why I'm making this vlog again is because I'm scared of my eyes. I don't think you can see it right now, but my eyes are, especially on this camera, I really liked that, but you can't really see the redness of my eyes in this camera. But, like, I'm looking myself in the mirror every day and it's getting worse and worse and worse. Nothing is really progressing, as in the feeling I have, the tightness in my throat or lungs or whatever, the feeling of wanting to cough, still there, but it hasn't really gotten any worse. Um, you know, and the headache's still there, the tiredness still fucking there, you know, but it's not worse. My eyes, on the other hand, they keep progressively getting more veins, more and more veins. on them, and sometimes my eyes are really red, especially after long days of sitting behind the computer. And 2 days ago, I was done with a project. Now I know I can't alt tab here. I remembered that because the camera might stop doing the recording thing. But yeah. But so basically, I made this super cool thing with Blender, which is like a program, to make 3D stuff. I even made some money with that shit in the meantime. Like I did hobbies on the computer. I made like $200 from that. So that's really nice. Like between 100 and 200 bucks. So I'm really happy with that. But 2 days ago, I looked in the mirror after I finished this project, and my eyes were redder than fucking blood itself. That's an exaggeration. It wasn't that red, but I just see the veins becoming worse and worse, and I can have moments where my veins are not as popping, but they never disappear once they are there. So, and when I look in somebody's eyes right now, if it's the right moment, they will not say that I have super red eyes. It will just be a normal slash a bit red, But if you really look up close and you pay attention, and which I do every day, I'm self-centered like that. I can really see the veins coming from everywhere, and my eyes really went from snow white. Like even behind my lids, everything was snow white. There was not a single vein ever to be seen. I know this because I looked at it so many times, and now every day I see more veins popping up. I can physically see veins that were not here yesterday, and it scares the fucking shit out of me. It's really, really bad because it makes me look very bad. It makes me look very tired. And generally, it just can't be healthy. And I noticed after those 2 days of sitting behind the computer that it was so bad, like holy fuck. So I got scared. I got super scared, and I decided to, fight whatever I have more, because I was enduring all this time hoping that it would get better, but it's getting progressively worse in terms of my eyes. So I need to do something, and that's hard. That's really hard. Whatever. It's really hard. So what I did is I decided to make a plan. I went to the store and I bought myself some big ass fucking papers, like A3 format, and I made a planning that I would stick to every day in the hopes that I would, make shit less. A lot has happened, so I also bought a air humidifier. It's on my left here in the bottom, right there. It's there, and the beautiful little thing right here. And still, it was getting worse. I thought that would maybe fix the problem, because I noticed in stores where it was very dry that my eyes would be very irritated, and if I sit behind a computer, they would be very irritated for a long time. So, but yeah, I hope to fix it with that, but it didn't. It's still getting worse. So I'm now putting everything on the line here. My whole life I've been behind the computer, and this is where I say goodbye to the computer times, because life pushes me in here. I don't know what I did wrong, so that's that. But I need to do something, because I think it looks hideous, and I am really scared of it progressing to very bad lengths. So what I decided to do is, with this planning, have almost no computer screen time. And this planning tells me to wake up at 9:30, which we'll see if it works. I can see every time I look like this, I'm very, very tired looking as well. But yeah, everything is so uncertain. I really don't know what impacts my eyes that much. I started to think that I had dry eyes, so I have eye drops and everything like that, but I think they just became very sensitive, I think, since today. God, my fucking... Look at that fucking massive thing. Okay, anyway, so yeah. I told myself to start these vlogs again, and so what I have done the last 2 days is I also look tired because I slept a bit, by the way. Just a bit earlier. But yeah, so long story short, I now will do research every day, which is even also hard because research I want to do on the computer and I just can't be on the computer. Even now, this is the first time I've been on the computer really. Only thing I do is watch videos, and I don't really watch, I just listen, and I just, listen to what they say. It's about headaches and stuff like that. And I try to prevent as much eye strain as possible in the hopes that this would, the best case scenario, it would just like make the veins less, but I can still feel it right now. Literally a few seconds ago, I felt like this burst on my eyes, like a shock. And I know that that's what's making it worse because I feel that a lot when I'm sitting behind the computer and staring a lot. I can feel that happening. So, but it's still happening, and I think I've actually yesterday was my first day without any computer screen, and I still saw a vein popping up that wasn't there before, and today I saw that it spread out further. So my veins, for whatever reason, just want to spread out in my eyes, and I don't really know why. But yeah, so that's that. So I do research now, and I do it on paper because that is less eye straining. I've learned a lot about headaches and what what doctors do to prevent them, to diagnose them, and all that sort of stuff. And that's me actually working. Okay, this is me actually taking a stand and doing something, which everybody is trying to discourage me to do. They don't yet see the seriousness of this. And I'm way ahead of them. I know the seriousness of what I have because I feel it, and it's like nothing else. Nothing else should be like this. It's weird. I don't know why it's here or what I have, but it's not fitting within a box easily. I've done a lot of doctor visits as well. I've had a CT scan of my chest, like not a picture, but an actual CT scan, and it showed nothing. However, the blood tests showed that I had low vitamin D, and which is perfectly logical because I've been having this issue sitting in my room behind my computer trying to get my mind off of things for 7 goddamn months, more than 7 months by now. Pro, I'm still alive, and it seems I'm still operating. It's not getting much worse. Con, it didn't get any better, and my eyes are getting worse. I tested my eyes, my eye pressure is fine. I went to one store and it was like 12.3 in one eye and like 13 point or 14 point something in the other, which apparently to them is perfect. It's not too low. It has to be between 8 and 22. And then yesterday I went to another eye store and they told me that my eye pressure was 18 in both eyes. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever, doesn't really matter. It's still really good. They said it's perfect. I did a vision test and my vision was still perfectly fine. I was starting to doubt that, but I can still see just as well as I did before. So that's all good things. However, my eyes are still getting worse. And I've been doing research, and I will keep doing this research. I will focus more on non-computer screeny things because I don't know why it irritates my eyes so much to look at screens. I can notice it within 3 minutes of watching at my screen that my eyes just grow fucking tired. That's why I'm not looking at it right now. And it's ridiculous. Life put me in a ridiculous situation. I mean, you could argue that I'm putting myself in this situation, but who doesn't want to prevent damage in their eyes, For me, it's very simple. I everything I see is almost everything I have, right? I mean, I wouldn't want to be paralyzed from the neck down. I wouldn't want to be deaf. I wouldn't want to be like not able to smell or taste like when COVID hit me, but I would still choose to lose all of those before my eyes. Like, eyes are so important, and everywhere on the internet you see that, every alteration to your eye has potential dangers. And my vision is still fine. My eye pressure might still be fine. I guess it's been quite a big deal. I'm kind of like my own psychologist right now. The reason I'm talking about this so much is because I feel like people around me, they're just doing their daily things. They don't have this chronic thing, no pain or no fear, they just live their lives. And they keep telling me that I need to focus on other things, you know, and my parents actually, or at least my mom, she's like, oh, it's the vitamin D, it's the vitamin D. And she really sticks to that, you know, but I can already tell it's not the vitamin D that has been killing me, because if I had vitamin D, the onset of my symptoms wouldn't be from like the evening to the morning. Like, it doesn't just poof happen like that when you have a vitamin deficiency. I mean, that's one thing too. I got it in the summer, so like I probably had vitamin D. I was living part of the most healthy lifestyle I've had. Like, I was doing the best I've ever been doing, yet I got this, probably because of the gym injury. I can still feel the thing on my chest too. So where is that coming from? Vitamin D? And then my mom would argue like, yeah, you know, but it can also cause that, you know, if you think long enough, and it can also cause headaches. And I'm like, well, but I've been sitting in my room my entire fucking life, you know, and I've never had this issue ever, never. So, and that's just like the tip of the iceberg, and I'm talking about a mountain of fucking things that tells me that it's not the vitamin D. And I'm gonna do what's most logical. I'm scared for my eyes. I see them progressively getting worse. You know, the veins keep popping up. It keeps getting redder and redder. And everybody on the internet, every doctor ever keeps telling me, like, you got to be preventative with your eyes, because your eyes do not heal after they have been damaged. I mean, your eyes can heal to a certain extent, but some damage is irreversible, and it's always preventative. If you have any like serious issues or concerns, go to your doctor. Well, my doctor, I show it to my doctor. She does not take into account that, you know, my eyes used to not be like this at all. She does not take that into account. She just looks at it, takes the norm, and then decides that it's not too bad. But I can see it getting worse. I can feel it getting worse. My eyes feel weird when I move them. They feel irritated. And I don't want to be more red in my eyes, you know. I look at myself for 25 years. I turned 25 in the meantime. Hooray. And I just notice that it went from snow white in every corner to red like blood, literally, because it's blood vessels. But like, they don't take that into account, and it bothers me. It bothers me quite a bit. It's hard to not be taken seriously, because when I tell you right now, if I tell anybody right now, oh, my arm, you know, if I move it like this, it hurts, everybody would believe me. Everybody would believe me. It's like, oh, okay, well, there's something wrong with your arm. It's probably in the muscle, maybe the bone, but it will probably heal. People take you seriously because they understand it. But as soon as I go to the doctor with, hey, I have a chronic condition that started out of nowhere, and it's getting progressively worse, and it's involving a headache and all these things, you know, that you could associate with mental stress, but I know it's not, because I'm not mentally stressed in that way, and I wasn't before this. I just got it. It's a physical thing. I know it, you know, and I'm not the smartest saint, but I know a few things for certain, and that's that my mental state is not what caused this. Because when I was waking up that night, I mean that morning, I was not even aware that I had anything. I was in the prime of my goddamn life. Yet I felt the same thing that I feel now. It's a weird feeling when I swallow. And it was because of the headaches and stuff like that. But I didn't know that yet, because I wasn't fully yet awake. It's like, how do you explain that? How do you explain that I felt I was sick before I was even fully awake, and not even aware of any other feeling than the simple one of my swallowing, which my lungs are irritated. There is something physical going on. Now, it took me a goddamn long time to realize and to really stand behind myself. It actually took me a really long time to stand behind what I believe, you know, and every time people keep telling me like, oh, it's not serious, oh, it's not this, it's not that, but they're not fucking me. They're not me. They just want it to be a certain way, or they're not alarmed because they're not me. They don't notice what I have. They don't feel what I have, you know. And I might sound like a teenage boy, you know, with, oh, nobody understands me. But this is different. I am not stupid, you know, and nobody is saying that I'm stupid, but that's what I feel like when I tell people I have a headache, and they tell me, oh, it's because of the, you know, it's because of your mental state. And I looked at my I looked like at my medicine that they gave me, and to be fair, like the doctor actually explained to me that she's kind of clueless what to do, which is fine with me, I guess. As long as I get sent to a person who is not clueless, you know what I mean? And it's okay to be clueless if we try things, and we have been trying things. But I looked at my medicine and I noticed that most of it was for mental rest, because in the urgence, in the start, especially, you know, back in the time where I really could not sleep and all that stuff, from just sheer stress and all that shit, they really just gave me stuff to calm my mind down. But my mind is of course not the issue. My mind is just playing with it, you know. It might be going down with it, but it's not the cause. And it took me a while to realize that people around me really put it on the mental thing. And it's hard because I just don't feel like I'm being taken seriously at all. And it does not help my case. I can tell myself already that the only time that I will fix this is when people really start taking my normal sounding symptoms very serious, because it is very serious, because it is giving me chronic, without exception, every second of the day, headaches, weird feelings, fatigue, like bad fucking fatigue. I'm talking like I need to lay down, man. Like it's giving me mental stress. This shit is not good for me, and I can operate well when I speak, you know, but I can see that my eyes getting worse, and it's just bad. It's just very bad. All of it is very bad, and I think it's hard. It's frustrating to be chronically sick and not fit in a box, because, you know, the people just don't take you seriously. They should, but they don't. So that's really hard. 21 minutes, huh? 22. Jesus Christ. Now, a long time ago, I started a retaliation. I started a fight. And I did that against my enemy, which is my condition. And I made a computer file, and I was going to make everything make sense. I was gonna document the whole thing, because if I'm gonna fucking go out, if I'm gonna be tortured like this, I'll be damn sure to be on every inch of whatever the fuck's attacking me. Sadly, up until this day, it is still a ghost. I'm still fighting a ghost. It keeps punching me, but when I try to hit it back, I'm just in the dark, and it goes right through. I don't know what to do. That's the still the problem. I do not know what to do. And somewhere that gives me a little bit of consolation, actually. The fact that I really don't know what to do makes me feel like it's not my fault. But at the same time, when people, even though they keep telling me you gotta focus on the good things, you know, I keep seeing my eyes getting worse, and I'm just thinking to myself, how can I be compliant? How can I be okay with what's happening? How can I be saying to myself that I'm not at fault if I'm not doing it, if I'm not doing anything to stop it, right? So that's that. And so I need to, and I'm now scared enough for my eyes to actually do something about it, which is studying on paper, you know, getting to know shit. And I really am scared of being behind a computer and of my eyes, but I have no choice. I have to do something, because otherwise there's nothing. There's only death, I guess. So that sucks. So, 20 fucking 4 minutes. And I've only been repeating myself. Maybe someday people will look at this, or somebody I know, and, you know, realize something. Whatever. In any case, I've been doing research. Here it is. Now this is my planning. I'm making a PQRST of my pain, so I'm actually trying to write down what makes things better and what makes things worse, which is really hard. I need to think really, really fucking hard about this. Also, the back of my head and everything is just fucking blah. And that would be okay, but like the irritation in my lungs, man. It's so annoying. It's so goddamn annoying. I have it every fucking second. And coughing doesn't help. It's a dry cough. And coughing actually makes it worse. I did have weights on my chest, so I think the lining of my lungs or something might be damaged. However, what's more logical is that it's inflamed. And I've been doing research about headaches. Now, the most common headache is the tension headache, which my doctor told me when I explained what sort of headache I have. She said, that's a tension headache, right? But that's a bit ago, and I've now actually been doing my own research. Now, no tension headache lasts chronically, like every day, every second of the day. It seems like every headache in existence is in episodes, which mine is not. I feel less of it when I overstimulate myself, which is why I'm overstimulating myself very often now. I've become actually different in character. The way I behave has changed because I just want to keep myself busy. Because when I eat, when I interact with people, when I am busy, the headache doesn't go away. It does not go away, but it's more in the background, so I can suppress it for a bit until I get tired, and then I sleep, and then everything, becomes bad again. And as long as I'm not suppressing it, it's just in the background, lingering, annoying the fuck out of me, But where was I? Okay, anyway, I'm just gonna continue here because otherwise I'm gonna be having such a long video. So you got migraines, tension headaches, cluster headaches, sinus headaches, and hormonal headaches. Now the problem is that even though tension headache fits the best, it doesn't fit all symptoms. The first one, of course, being that mine is chronicle. Tension headaches are the headaches that take the longest, or they take long at least. If somebody has a headache for 6 hours, it's most likely a tension headache. But still, it doesn't really add up. So I'll just go over them really quickly, and then I'll go over my planning. The first video in a long time is going to be a long ass one, and I really wish I could keep it short and brief, but I can't. I need every second to be understood. Because I'm just that fucking annoying and complicated. So you got primary headaches, you got secondary headaches, right? Now, secondary headaches are a red flag because they are not a headache for the sake of being a headache or something simple. They are a headache that exists because of a secondary condition, an underlying condition. Now, none of my symptoms fit with one of the primary ones. Tension headache comes the closest, but it does not fully fit. Mine, every time I try to figure it out, and I think I got it, I think back to my chest, and it's all of a sudden it doesn't make sense anymore. I most likely have a secondary headache. So that's that. Now, the guy on the internet who was basically making a video to train other people who are becoming doctors said that that's a red flag. It's not good. They can be very dangerous. Because the primary headaches are headaches. You can just treat them, they can understand them. But secondary means that there's something more complicated or deeper at hand. Anyway, migraine. So migraine is often unilateral, meaning it's only on one side of the face. Uni as in one, which mine is not. Mine is over the whole head, essentially. Migraines come and go. Mine does not come and go. I can suppress it, but it does not come and go. It's got a gradual onset, which I guess mine is just always there. There's not really an onset, Moderate to severe intensity. I guess my headache is not too bad. I am able to live with it, but it is constant. And the constant part is not to be underestimated. Constant means all the time. I need rest. I don't get any. Okay? Well, I do get some rest, but it's not high quality rest, if you know what I mean. So they last 4 to 72 hours. Mine's been lasting for over 7 fucking months. Once again, does not fit. Associated symptoms, nausea. Yes, I do have that. If I really focus on my headache too hard, I get nauseous. And I have actually vomited before. So that does fit. Photophobia and phonophobia. So you actually are very sensitive to light and to sound. I do not have that at all. I have no issues with sound, no issues with light. So that does not fit either. And there is an aura, as they call it, which means that they can the people with migraine, they actually feel it coming. They feel the onset coming. It's often even visually. They can see sparkles or something like that because there's just a firing of neurons happening and all that shit, you know. I don't have any of that. There's no fire. There's constant firing. You know, fuck, we're almost done here. Generally pulsating. No, mine is not pulsating. It's just constant. Idiopathic. Migraines are idiopathic, which means that they're just not really. It's not really explained why they exist. But it is thought that they irritate. They give you a headache because of the artery expansion. So what they believe right now is that migraines exist because your body is making new arteries, and that is actually annoying the nerves that the arteries are next to, causing them to fire. And this happens in the brain. So this actually really spiked my interest for one specific reason that really I'm not thinking is the solution or the explanation for what I have, but it is a potential link. So I notice my eyes are getting veinier. I don't know about the rest of my body. I mean, I don't know, but I have a pretty hard feeling that my headache and my eyes, what's happening to my eyes and what's happening to my headache, why I have a headache, is probably very related to each other. I think the core issue is whatever is happening or whatever is damaged or inflamed in my lungs. I think that for sure. Well, almost for sure. So whatever is happening in terms of signal or blood that goes to my head and gives me this headache is affecting my head and my eyes. I think it's the same thing, right? So looking at my eyes, knowing that they are feeling weird and that they are kind of headachy, pressure behind the eyes, all that shit, you know, it could explain the same reason. It could be the same reason as why my head is on fire, you know what I mean? So what I notice in my eyes, everything about my eyes is fine. The pressure is fine. My vision is fine, right? I let the doctor check it out. She says it's fine, but I know that the arteries are growing every fucking day. I can feel shock-like feelings over my eyes. So the reason this interested me is because my assumption, or my possible assumption, is that my arteries are expanding. And even though I don't have a migraine, I have a secondary headache. It could be somehow that my body wants to make new arteries, and it's trying to do that every second of the day, because I see them growing every second of the day. So maybe I have some sort of a migraine attack, but in very low quantity. I think it's not the answer, but I think there is a possibility that it's the reason why my eyes are getting veinier is also why my head hurts. The same effect, essentially. There is a condition where you have only higher pressure around your brain or in your head, and I already know that there's specific medicine to counter this. The only problem is that I need a prescription for that, and I don't think I can. I don't think I can. How do you say that? Overtuig. Fuck. Convince. I don't think I can convince my doctor to give me a fucking very specific medicine for a possible thing, you know, and honestly, I wish I could. But I don't think that's possible. So, worst case scenario is I can ask if it's possible, but to be honest, if I want to choose what I say to my doctor very carefully, because I'm actually also fighting my doctor in a way, where if I come there with ridiculous ideas, they're just gonna pin it on my mental state because, oh, he's going crazy, he wants all these crazy fucking things. But yeah, so possible link from migraine artery expansion to my eyes and my head and my lungs. Maybe I am damaged here and my body is trying to make more arteries. Maybe something is getting released in my blood that allows for more arteries to make. I don't know because I don't know what's going on. So then we go to tension headache. Now, tension headache is a muscular, most common headache. And what happens is this can happen when, at least that's what I heard and stuff, is that tension headaches, they give you a headache all around the head. They're not at a specific place, all around the head, which is exactly what I have. And that's why my doctor told me you have a tension headache. But it's triggered by hunger, something that makes you angry, stress, all that kind of stuff. Anything that makes you angry can give you a tension headache. And it is basically just a cramping of the muscles, especially in the back here and around the head. But that would mean that my head muscles would be permanently tensioned. And I don't think that's the case. I think my pain is not from tension. I think something is in my blood generally, maybe too high blood pressure, and I've actually taken my blood pressure, but it's not really a result till now. It's not really a good result. Like, it's not showing me that it's super high. But the problem is that I don't know what I had before this. And just like the doctor now telling me, hey, your eyes are fine, you know, it's a normal amount. I'm not a normal person. I am a person. And my values can be different than those of other people. So it's really, really, really annoying that I slept when I got this fucking disease or whatever I have, because I could have gained so fucking much from every feeling I would have had before this. Essentially what I've realized is I could have prevented this way more easily if I had taken my blood pressure before this happened. If I was awake when this happened, you know. And I will never have that piece of information. Never. Because I slept when I fucking got this. It's really annoying. But yeah, so I don't know about my blood pressure. It seems to be okay, but I don't know if it's okay for me. So, but I guess tension headache comes closest to what I have. What I could try and what could work against tension headaches is muscle relaxants. Because if you relax those muscles forcefully, then the headache should stop. Or at least it should help. So one of my first lines of defense is actually going to be muscle relaxants. Something that helps with headache. If it does not work, that proves or at least supports my theory that my headache is not coming from tension in my muscles, but rather from something in my blood, be it the pressure, be it inflammation, whatever. And this is the research I've been doing in the last 2 days, right? So that's that. And now I'm only treating my headache as well. It's not like I'm treating the core cause, which is obviously here in my chest. I've already determined that it's on the right side. It's really weird. Sometimes I feel these like shock-like feelings over the top of my right lung. And sometimes during running, I get pain in this. I finally managed to point it down, by the way. I get pain in the rib that is right here. Right here. I thought it was way higher. See, you got this big knob over here, and I thought it was right below that, because if I felt the pain, which was in the top of my lung and like around this area here, if I centered that, if I basically drew lines from every place I've ever felt something, I would end up here, right? But I noticed during running for the first time a few days ago, that it was very painful right here. I managed to finally put my finger on one thing. Okay, so I felt shock-like feelings over the top of my lung. And I felt a very strong pain in the connection here where my rib connects to the sternum. So right there. So yeah, where was I? Right, I'm not treating the core cause, but right now I have no idea what it is, and I need to protect my eyes. And I might not be able to treat the cause yet, but I could be treating symptoms, or at least giving myself more information. So, what do we got? We got possible link to migraine artery expansion with headaches. We got a possible attack to find if the problem is indeed the tension headache with the muscles. Muscle relaxants should help. Okay. And here's my next thing. And this is actually what I'm going to do today. I have 3 pills ready here, which I haven't taken any medicine before this because I want to stay the fuck away from medicine. But these 2 things, I actually have 3, but I'm not going to take 1 pill, and I'll explain why. This, I'm actually going to show this on camera. This is a big fucking deal for me. This right here is my first fucking attempt to attack. I've been enduring this fucking shit for 7 months. And these pills are the first actual try to make a difference, okay? Because I've been enduring in the hopes that things would get better. This is me attacking. This is me forming a counterattack. And I'm fucking proud of myself. So, that's that. I'll explain now what these fucking pills are. So, tension headache. Just gonna continue with this, right? This is the main reason over-the-counter medicine, specific medicines are sold, like, aspirins, like paracetamol, whatever the fuck, I don't remember. But this is a main reason why people are buying these things, because people have tension headaches so often. They don't even go to the clinic for it often. So it's bilateral, which is, the first one was unilateral, migraines, one side of the face. This one is 2 sides of the face, right? It's tension is everywhere. It's not really even in the face. It's more like the head, the forehead, the back here, the muscles that surround this shit. And I don't actually have a headache in my face. I have it in my head. So that's that. It also supports the theory that I have a tension headache. And it is prescribed. It is described as pressure or tight. I'm not sure how I would describe my headache. I guess it would be some sort of pressure. Yeah, I guess it would be. In my eyes, it's definitely a pressure, but in my head, I don't know. So I'm just gonna leave it for that. It's really hard to explain a headache, I've noticed. It's really fucking difficult to explain a headache. So, associated symptoms, and here's the thing. With tension headache by itself, it's a primary headache, right? So it's just a headache. The associated symptoms are usually nothing. It's just a headache. I mean, yes, you could be hungry, but it's not really a symptom. Hungry is just being hungry. You can get a tension headache from being hungry, from being angry. It's not a symptom. It's just the reason why you have a headache, so. And I do have associated symptoms. I have my chest, which supports the theory that I have a secondary headache. Because my lungs are irritated as I speak, and it's fucking annoying, and it's every day. So what I could do for this is analgesics. It's basically over-the-counter medicine, and especially inflammatory would help against this, right? So what I can buy without a prescription is non-steroidal. I would definitely have loved. I've been thinking about steroids and how they would help me since the first week that I got this. The first goddamn week, maybe even the first few days. But I can't get steroidal medicine. So I'm gonna have to do with anti-steroidal, which is fine, I guess. I'm in it, for my feeling, I'm in a race against the clock for my eyes, and that brings me finally to these pills. This right here is a little capsule with ginger in it. Ginger powder, concentrated ginger powder. Now, I just saw these by accident downstairs, but they were actually meant for the dog to make it calm, according to my mom. However, I actually wanted to go to the store to get some ginger. I just didn't know what it was because I'm not really... Wait, this isn't ginger, is it? Is this ginger? I'm gonna have to double check because I'm actually confused about ginger. I think ginger is in Dutch knoflook. But I think this is gember. And I've always thought that ginger was gember. So, before I take this just now in all my pride, it doesn't matter. It's a supplement. It's completely buyable. It's not an issue. Okay, I just wanted to take this, but whatever. So that's that, because ginger actually has anti-inflammatory responses, right? And this here is the more important one. This is diclofenac. Diclofenac. Yeah, whatever you call it, diclofenac. So this is actually, according to research, a very potent anti-inflammatory that works fast. I already tried this morning ibuprofen, but it turns out that the anti-inflammatory effect of ibuprofen, which is one of the over-the-counter, it means I can buy it medicine to do anti-inflaming, because I want to see if anti-inflaming helps my head, right? Because of the here, this is that I did research. They tell me anti-inflammatory. That's perfect. That's good, right? It could take up to 2 weeks for ibuprofen to get an anti-inflammatory effect, while the most potent one is apparently diclofenac. Now, that is a prescription medicine, but my mom had some laying around, so that is actually a good save. And all I really want to see is just if it works. I should actually take these right now, because it takes like 2 hours and it's already 9:10. So I'm going to take these two. Now, this might actually, the reason I wanted to take this is because ginger is anti-inflammatory. This might actually be something else. Hold on. Let me actually ask this. Hey, Google, is ginger anti-inflammatory?
On the website webmd.com, they say, ginger is an anti-inflammatory, which means it reduces swelling. Do you want a little more context?
No. Okay. So, yeah. So, I don't know. It would be anti-inflammatory. I'm gonna take it anyway. And this is also anti-inflammatory, and it's a stronger one. I'm gonna take them right now. This is my official first fucking counterattack after the ibuprofen. But yeah. So, let's take it. Now, I've also done some research about the lungs. And I don't know what is causing whatever I feel. What I do know is that I had a heavy ass fucking weight on my chest, and I need to do more research, sadly, in this race against the clock about like the structures that are here, the possible injuries or traumas that you could get, and the effects of them on you. But so far I figured, so I have a heavy weight on my chest, and I've been breathing a lot with it on my chest, right? And I think a possibility of what happened is that because there was such a heavy weight on my chest and I tried to breathe with it, maybe my lung tissue or whatever got stress put on it. You know, it could be something even more rare, where maybe one of my maybe some nerves actually got like caught in on maybe they ripped, or maybe some blood vessels that like directly go to my head. Because sometimes, very very rarely, I can feel the shock of whatever is happening up here. I can feel it going up my neck, and I do have a weird feeling with swallowing, you know. But I've also had where my head egg kind of like radiates to my throat. It doesn't hurt my throat, but it makes it weird when I swallow. So I'm not sure how my throat is like connected to all of this. All I know is that I can trigger one more symptom when I look down as far as I can, so that my esophagus and windpipe are like this, as short as possible. And I actually do this. You know, where you basically pull down your apple to make your voice heavier, essentially. I can feel it irritates. Okay, like if I do it like this. I did not have that before this. I know it's a ridiculous statement. Like, when did I ever do this? When I was not sick. But I did, and I remember. And I did not have that. It was never sensitive like that. My throat has something going on with it. The first thing I ever felt, ever, when I got this, was my throat. it was the exact feeling, a weird feeling when I swallowed. It was like, oh, that doesn't feel right. And I swallowed a few more times. I never really had an issue with my throat. I mean, I don't really feel my throat right now. I feel the annoyance, but it seems to lay deeper. It's like deeper in here. And I don't know how all of this plays. I don't know what is going on, but my throat somehow plays in with this. And I feel like the pulsation up here, the radiation from here, it's connected somehow. So this might sound like I'm going down a deep rabbit hole, but yes, somebody has to do it because my eyes are getting worse. So I don't even know where I was. Oh yeah, the anti-inflammatory. Basically, I kind of visualize what would happen if I breathe and that would damage something. It's weird that I have pain here because there was no part of the weight on here when I had the gym thing happening. I'm not even 100% sure that the weights in the gym caused this, but I'm getting more and more certain because there's just basically no other way. Or it would be a very coincidental thing that would happen at the same time, which is very unlikely. You know, the only thing I did out of the ordinary, I went to an abandoned place in like Belgium with my friend Jamie. So maybe I contracted some weird fucking bacteria in there, possibly. Antibiotics are on my list of things I will try, but they're not in the top. Because I have a lot of things that tell me that whatever I have is not a bacteria. It's not logically a bacteria because of the onset of the symptoms, because of the way my symptoms are constant, no fluctuations. It doesn't seem to be a bacteria. Either that or it's a very, very persistent one that is not even detectable because they did blood tests, so I don't think it is a bacteria, but there's still a possibility. You know, maybe I'm getting older, maybe going to the gym just generally triggered something, maybe high blood pressure during the gym triggered something weird. I don't know. But yeah, it doesn't take away for the fact that I have it, so I need to do something, right? Anyway, my anti-inflammatory. So I visualized this whole shit, and I think during breathing, the lining of the lungs, I've read there's two linings that cover your lung. You got the lung lining and the chest lining or wall or whatever. And they're basically what separates your lungs from the rest of your body. And in between those two layers, there's a tiny layer with some fluid in there, apparently. And, well, I can only imagine that something as delicate as my lungs, you know, would be not very happy to be breathing with fucking a total of like 50 or more kilograms on top of it. Because that's what happened. I was breathing with 50 fucking kilograms on my chest. But it was only like 24 kilograms per thing. And I only feel it in my right lung. So I think my left lung has been lucky. My right lung has been unlucky. And I don't see how something that ripped apart or got damaged at the course of like 7+ months would not have been healed. I feel like my body should be capable to heal any tissue by then. So either something is still pressing on something else, or something is inflamed, because inflammation could happen. Maybe my immune system is at mistake. I don't know what's going on. But in any case, my anti-inflammatory could potentially be helping whatever is damaged or whatever is going on in here. So yeah, I just took the anti-inflammatories. I guess we'll see. I'm not really sure how I will measure the results. I've not thought about it. I guess I'm just gonna feel. And it might take a few more tries to see if it really helps with something. Maybe I should take it at one time when it's really bad to see if that makes it better. It is true that coughing makes my lungs worse. So coughing is a dry cough, nothing comes out, and it makes it worse if I cough. So talking makes it worse. Laughing makes it worse. If I laugh, I'm punished for it, right? So it's really there. And we'll see if it helps. So my next line of defense, if this doesn't help, is muscle relaxants. Now, I don't know about any muscle relaxant groups, but I bought a Google Nest Mini who could tell me everything. Like, hey Google, what is the best over-the-counter muscle relaxant?
I found 3 on the website spineuniverse.com. Aspirin, ibuprofen, and naproxen.
I think... Oh, that's actually not so good. I think... See, naproxen and ibuprofen are basically the lower version of what I just took, which is anti-inflammatory. So I think what I just took is actually also a muscle relaxant, which means that if this doesn't help, then I don't know what to do anymore. I have not made any new retaliations. It's a very nerdy word to say, by the way, retaliations, but I think it sounds cool. Hey Google, is naproxen a muscle relaxant?
On the website singlecare.com, they say naproxen is not technically a muscle relaxer. It is a pain medication and also helps with inflammation. Do you want a little more context?
No. Okay, it seems like this might not relax my muscles. I think there's better choices for relaxing my muscles specifically against this headache. So I'm actually happy with that because I know it would be good if I had something that tackled everything at the same time. But I really just want to see them separately, test them separately. So that's that. Okay. Now I've been talking for 55 minutes. This is a long fucking video. But it's helping me. It's putting things for me in like a way I can understand. Okay, so it's putting everything in order for me, which is nice. So let's go over this again. Not again. No, I mean the cluster. Let's continue with what I've already done. So the cluster. A cluster headache is something completely different. It's always unilateral, so it means it's on one side of the head. And it's usually around the eye. It's around one eye. Now, this might be useless information, and if a doctor would look at this, they would be thinking I'm saying useless shit. I do not have a cluster headache. Cluster headache is a group of idiopathic, meaning that it is not really explained why they are there, but it's a group of idiopathic headaches that are pretty fucking painful. And somebody on YouTube, this doctor guy who was explaining other doctors' things, that said that it was like a guy giving birth. It's basically a guy conceiving. So these people will be in absolute agony. These people will be in complete despair. They will not know what to do. All that sort of stuff. Like, it's truly awful, apparently. It's associated with trigeminal neuralgia, which means electric shock feelings. Now that, of course, interests me because I was speaking earlier, like I can feel shocks around my eyes. I can feel shocks around my lung, very rarely, but I do feel them and I never felt them before. So it's hard to take me seriously, but I know because I notice this shit. I'm autistic as fuck. I am super specific in everything I felt in my entire life. And I am convinced that I would know it if I've ever felt this before, because every feeling I've ever had, I registered. Maybe that's not helping my case when it comes to all this shit, but it's who I am. And I've never had these electric shocks. Now, it appears that people with cluster attacks have electric shock feelings, and it's because they have, now, like I said, it's associated with trigeminal neuralgia. And trigeminal nerve is a nerve that is on the side of the head, and it's basically responsible for a lot of things that you feel in your face. So the people who have a cluster headache, it is very extreme, and it's basically that nerve causing chronic pain. And this is something that happens in an attack, and then it stops. It comes and goes. And it's the firing of that nerve, and it's mostly around one eye, so that eye can actually become fully red as well, because it's the affected eye that is around these nerves. And that's also interesting to me because it means that a headache where the nerves are firing can cause a very, very red eye pretty quickly, and I'm not sure why that is. Maybe when nerves are firing, it's basically just a lot of fucking. It's like a short circuit, but in a human being, right? So I don't know what's going wrong. There's so many processes that could be influenced, right? But I have a headache, and I have shock-like feelings over my eyes and shock-like feeling over here. So it could be nerve-related, or it could be in my blood. It's one of the two. It's either in my blood, or it's with my nerves. There's nothing else that sends signals. It's either blood or nerves, right? So I have to kind of think between the two. And I keep everything open as a possibility. So it fits. It could be that my nerves are causing my eyes to be red. But I don't think so. I think it's more logical to be blood related. Anyway, I don't have cluster headaches. I don't have any of this. The duration is 3 minutes to 3 hours. Causes eye dripping, being unable to dilate eyes, or drippy nose possibly. Now, I've had this thing that I haven't had in years. Many years. Where even when I was sick, I was sick. I didn't really have a runny nose. You know, that's just not what I have often. But I had this a few times over the course of a week, so it's not really a valid statement that I'm gonna make here. But I had this moment where I thought, oh shit, I have a bloody nose when I was doing VR, like the glasses, and I was like, oh fuck, that's a lot of blood. And I looked at it, and it was just wetness. It was just wetness coming out of my nose. It was not even snot. It was just wetness. So this apparently happens also with cluster headaches because of the nerves just being fired. It completely disrupts a lot of things and processes, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not smart enough to know this. But I had a drippy nose once. I don't think this has got anything to do with it. I would have had this more often, right? So I don't think this is related, but it's something that I thought about. These patients actually also can get suicidal, and some of those patients who are getting suicidal because of the pain from the cluster headaches need to be put on lithium and calcium channel blockers. And basically calcium channel blockers are, I think, this is just speculation, but I think calcium plays a big role when it comes to sending signals with your nerves. And when you give somebody a calcium channel blocker, I think that really is a big painkiller. So I think that's very necessary. And they put them on oxygen, high flow oxygen, because apparently high flow oxygen works against nausea, which is something I never knew, but it's interesting. So there's a lot of things that they do for this. They give these people sumatriptans, which is something. It's a very specific painkiller, or whatever. It's something that stops a cluster headache. Now, if this specific thing stops neurons from firing pretty badly, and if my problem is neuron related, it could be that this medicine would do something for me, would give me insight on something. The problem is, there is, once again, no way that I'm gonna play around with that. And also, there is no way in hell that my doctor, there is no way that my doctor is gonna give me a triptan. So that's that. There's only 2 more to go, and these ones are actually not as interesting, and they're definitely not what I have. So hormonal headaches is not what I have. Hormones rise and fall. If I had hormonal headaches, my headaches would be up and down just like all the other headaches, and I don't have that. Changes in hormones are obviously the cause of it. And because hormones are always striving for a, what do you call it again? Homeostasis. Kind of like a perfect level. They constantly go up and down to it. You know, I would have felt differences, but this is a permanent headache. Permanent. Never stops. It's not hormonal. There's no way. Girls have it more often due to estrogen. Yeah, girls have a lot of hormone imbalances, or just hormones in general. So it's happening more to girls, so that's pretty interesting, but nothing that helps me. Sinus is the last form of primary headache, which I've already determined that I don't have, but sinus headaches are associated with sinusitis, which is an inflammation or swelling of the sinus area around the face. Once again, inflammation. So even if I had a sinus headache, my medicine should work against that. Mostly the lining of the sinus. People who have this need supportive therapy because they don't show up to work because of these things. Antiemetics, which is I think against nausea. Analgesics, which is an over-the-counter medicine. I think it's like paracetamol and stuff. Sometimes antibiotics, depending on the cause. Yeah, it could be a bacteria causing the infection, you know, antibiotics. It's been a while. It's been a big fucking while of me talking now. But this is me doing a counterattack. This is me doing something I should have done a long fucking time ago. But hey, when someone is desperate, they gotta do something, right? A cornered dog will make weird jumps. Secondary headaches. Now, I have not... See, the problem with secondary headaches, which is what I have most likely, is that they are a result of a serious underlying condition. That's why a secondary headache is a red flag. My headache is caused by a serious underlying condition. It is serious because it is influencing my life to the point where I am literally not sitting behind my computer. I am not having as much fun in life. I am scared for my future. My eyes are getting so red that I'm super scared. All this shit is super bad, right? And apparently there's a abbreviation or like a little I don't know what they call it in English, but a little word that they use to identify secondary headache. So they call it SNOOP. SNOOP. The S stands for systemic symptoms, illness or condition. N stands for neurological symptoms or abnormal signs. Well, I do have abnormal signs, and I do have probably an illness or condition. Onset. The onset has to be new. You need to be over the age of 40, or it needs to be sudden, like a thunderclap feeling, which that's a real fucking bad sign. I've heard, because if you if your headache is a very spontaneous thunderclap, it means you are probably dealing with a subarachnoid, or whatever you call it, hemorrhage, and that's basically something in your brain that is erupting blood in the area surrounding the brain, and that is actually a death sentence. I heard. So I don't have that. I'm pretty sure of it. I'm actually almost 100% sure of it. I would bet my entire life that I don't have that. That's not why I have my headaches. Other associated conditions or features. It's the O and the P. The last P from Snoop stands for previous headache history with headache progression or change in attack character. Now, my issue is that I don't really have a change in attack character. I don't have a previous headache condition or history because I never had headaches. Never. People had to tell me I was suffering from a headache because I just never have it. So a few things and examples that I heard from this guy, and I'm getting tired from talking myself now, but trigeminal neuralgia, I've already talked about that. It's the facial pain it's not in the top of the head. It has to do with the trigeminal nerve, which I don't have pain in my face, so I don't have an issue with that trigeminal nerve. I know that much. Hemorrhage, thunderclap, I don't have that either. Giant cell arthritis. Now, arthritis, I think, has something to do with your arteries. Is an inflammation of the lining of the arteries. Now, that is a possibility. I'm actually starting to think that my headache does actually not come from my muscles. It's not a tension headache. I think it's actually coming from my vessels. Or it is a tension headache. and my eyes are just responding to the annoyance. Could be, you know. But yeah, in any case, I just took an anti-inflammatory, so I should feel the difference. You got the last four. You got the first one as an internal carotid artery dissection, which is very interesting because I think this is an interesting one because I explained earlier the shock that goes up. Sometimes it kind of radiates a shock feeling here, radiates upwards on the right side. Wow, I'm not even making that up. It's really the right side. There's a radiating feeling. When I ever rarely get this shock feeling over here, it radiates up past my neck here where I'm touching. And so what this is, you can get a headache apparently from a internal carotid artery dissection, which means a tear in the inner wall of your carotid artery. Now, I don't know what a carotid artery is, but let's ask Google. Hey Google, what is a carotid artery?
On the website ucsf.edu, they say, you have two common carotid arteries, one on each side of your neck, that each divide into internal and external carotid arteries. Do you want a little more context?
No. So it's good to know. There is indeed two big veins, an artery and a vein here, I guess. And it supplies your head with all you need. Now,
on the website oodle.edu.
Now, what's important to know, I think, is that it's an artery. It goes up, an artery. It goes up here, and I don't know which side the artery is and which side the vein. If there's more than one, I don't know. But it said two, so I'm assuming that there's two. Maybe one goes up, one goes down. I don't fucking know. And they split up, and it basically becomes all the blood supply that goes up here. So this is a very vulnerable spot, right? And I don't know where this artery really begins, but if it's close here to the lungs, it could be that somehow the weight on my chest has damaged something while I was breathing. Maybe an artery that is very important. Now this could give you headaches. I don't think this is the case. I think if I look deeper into this whole thing, it will show me that this would not take 7 months or there would be permanent damage. However, what I did here is that one treatment for this problem is actually sometimes it's required for them to put a tube inside of this artery, which is insane, the fact that they can do that. But sometimes the damage is, I think it was at least this whole thing that I'm talking about now. They can put it in there to because it's damaged to a point where it won't repair itself. I just don't think that's the issue. Fairly certain that it's not the issue. Another possibility, last three, is meningitis, inflammation or swelling of the protective membrane surrounding the brain and spinal cord. Now, I've actually done some more research on this that I have not written down. But I've heard that they can determine if you have this with a lumbar puncture, and also I don't think I have this because it came with some symptoms that I do not have. I think I remember when I did research about this, I had some very clear distinctions that told me that this is not the issue I have. So I don't think this is meningitis. But let's ask Google. Hey Google, what are symptoms of meningitis?
I found 10 on the website mayoclinic.org. Symptoms. Here are the first 5. Sudden high fever, stiff neck, severe headache that seems different from normal, headache with nausea or vomiting, and confusion or difficulty concentrating.
I guess the last...
Do you want to hear more?
Yes.
Okay, here's 3 more. Seizures, sleepiness or difficulty waking, and sensitivity to light. To see the whole list, follow the link I just sent to you.
Stop. So, it's obviously not this. There are some symptoms that really go along with this. So, for example, the headache, that is definitely not normal. It's other than normal. This is definitely other than normal. But it is, I don't have photo, whatever you call it. I don't have sensitivity to light. I don't have seizures. I do have concentration problems. I do have sleepiness. I do not have. Well, I mean, I guess I have trouble waking up, but that's just me. Um, so I'd say that half of the symptoms here really match, but the other half really doesn't. So I think this is not the cause. Now the last, oh no, there's two. One is glaucoma, which is an often unilateral, so on one side of the face, eye pain that can be confused for a migraine, causes ocular disturbances in vision that last. So this is something that causes things in your vision. You can see sparkles or whatever. Thing is, with migraines, one of the things that made it not really fit my condition is that you have visual people who get migraines. They get auras, right? I talked about auras. So they get, they can see it. They can see visual things before a migraine attack happens. The thing is, during a migraine attack, these people don't see weird things. It's only before that, when it starts firing up. With glaucoma, it is actually happening during the headache. So I don't have glaucoma. And the thing is, it's a headache. The reason I wrote down glaucoma is because it's a headache, and the people who have it are okay with light and sound, which is what I have. I'm completely okay with it. Patient need to be referred to ophthalmology. Yeah, so, but I don't have visual things. My eyes are getting visibly worse, but it's not that. And lastly, we got a pseudotumor cerebri, which is kind of something that acts like a tumor, but it's not a tumor. It's idiopathic once again, so it means that people don't know what the hell causes it. Hypertension of spinal fluid in the brain. Now, I cannot help but think that the cause of my eyes and headache is a hypertension of something, or a lack of a specific thing in my blood. But they did blood tests, and I don't know if my blood pressure that they took from my lower or from my arm, that translates to my head, because I can feel the pulsating shock-like feeling over my eyes. So that's that. Causing double vision and vision loss that is related to obesity and chronic lung conditions. So pseudotumor cerebri, what I just talked about, the whole thing with the idiopathic headaches, you know, it's related to chronic lung disease. And that's why I wrote it down. It's because it's related to chronic lung disease. Now, I don't know if I have a hypertension of spinal fluid in the brain. I have no fucking clue, and I don't know how to test this. But it is something worth exploring, I guess, because it is linked to chronic lung disease. So, who knows? But it's not a tumor, normal on CT. So that's actually an interesting thing. So in the time that I made my last vlog, I got a CT scan, like I said, and also a MRI of my head. I'm waiting for results, which I should get in about a week. Actually, in 4 days. And if they're clean, at least this would not show up on a CT scan. So it could be due to a vitamin A toxicity, which I don't know about, and many other things. And they treat this by removing the offending factor. Now, it could be that my lung disease is actually causing this, because it's also related to lung disease. So I think it's worthy to test for vitamin A toxicity, because overnight you can get an allergy, and I have not tested for allergies. So one of the counterattacks that I want to do is testing for allergies, and that includes vitamin A. I have no idea if they test that standard. I'm stupid. Whatever. Okay. So I think it's good to write this down. I have my bag here. So speaking about all of that, it's really hard to always remember all the things that I talk about. And that actually is really annoying. Fuck. So what I want to do is I want to... just gonna write this down real quick. Ignore this dot dot. So I want to test for allergies. Now I don't know. I don't think there's an allergy that causes this for a few reasons. But it could be an allergy to vitamins. How the fuck are you gonna live if you can't have certain vitamins? Test for allergies, including vitamin A toxicity. The other thing was oh yeah, the muscle relaxant for headache proof. Yeah. I see more of the tunnel that I'm in. That makes me really happy. So there are actually ways to see if this is a tension headache, and if it is a tension headache, I should be able to battle this. If muscle relaxants do not help me at all, even a little bit, ever, then that kind of throws the whole tension headache out of the window, I feel. And that is something very worth exploring. You know, I would love to just play video games right now. I would love to just go on Mordhau and kill some people. Life is really being a bitch. A real fucking bitch to me. There was something else, I think. So let's see. I was talking about the headaches when I thought I've been talking about headaches the whole time. Jeez. Aspirin, hydration, antihistaminics. Yeah, I was thinking about triptans, but I don't think triptans are gonna. That's not the next step. The next step is not fucking triptans. Triptans were used to fight off cluster headaches. They were a very specific painkiller, only available on prescription. That is not. It's actually got some pretty serious side effects for people who got artery problems. I don't know if what I have is an artery problem, so it seems very unwise to take that right now. So that's that. I just talked about all the shit that most people already know about, but I've just never researched it. I managed to do this without looking at my screen too much, which is a good thing. Now, since the doctor tells me I have a tension headache, I'm just gonna continue with this, man. If this fucking thing takes me 2 hours, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna keep on doing this. Tension headache, muscular, most common headache. Over-the-counter medicine that works, long-lasting, bilateral, over the whole head, forehead, pressure tight, associated symptoms, usually none. Medicine, non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, which is what I just took. For fuck's sake. Yeah, this is tiring me out, but after this, I need to stay awake for a bit more. Just need to check my phone real quick. Just real quick. Okay. Mandy was gonna maybe come by today, but whatever. It's too late now. Okay, so extra information about tension headache. It can happen to everyone. Sustained contractions of the occipital muscles. Now, the occipital muscles are the things that here are in the top of your neck. Which, one of the things that I did when I had headaches, one of the things I do is actually massage my head, massage the back of my head. I feel like the fact that it feels nice when I massage my head, and I know already one of the things that helps me is overstimulation. Eating makes me feel better. Um, Gymming makes me feel a bit better. I can still feel it in the background. I was swimming today and the headache was definitely still there, not less at all. But I just don't feel it as much because I am feeling other things. I'm feeling the water against my skin, and that's just generally really helpful. The problem is, I can never really relax because when I relax, the headache kicks in like crazy. It's all the time, right? So that's that. Um, but yeah, so what I do notice is that when I stimulate myself like this, that actually helps a bit. It makes me feel like something's being done. My head feels happy, and I can still feel the chest. I can still feel the irritated lungs, which is really annoying. I can never fully rest, but the massage just helps. So that's that. Provoking factors: stress, fatigue, anger, hunger, anything that pisses you off happens all around your head, particularly occipital, the muscles. Yeah, I think that's true. Um, does not pulsate. No aura, so you don't really feel it coming, I guess. Physical exam often normal. All of these things I have. I don't have an aura. I mean, I don't have, so they fit with me. Does not pulsate. My headache is not pulsating, it's just constantly there. No aura. Physical exam is completely normal. My doctors keep telling me I'm normal. Severe cases, I could take opiates. So I guess what I could try is Tylenol 3 is apparently something you can buy. It's a muscle relaxant, which that is fine. That's what I'm going to use. I already wrote this down. See, this is why I write stuff down. I would have completely forgotten about this. So, Tylenol 3. Oh, my lungs, man, fucking suck. I can feel my lungs right now. They make me want to cough, but I know it makes things worse. Coughing also puts stress on my eyes, so it makes it worse as well. Where's that fucking paper? Put it all the way in the bottom. Tylenol 3. Now, if that doesn't fix my headache, or at least make it a little more bearable, I guess that really tells me that my lungs are the issue, which is something that scares me because I don't know what's going on with my lungs, and I think I need some doctor to say something, and I don't know how to convey this to the doctors. That's my biggest problem. In normal cases, you take non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, drugs like ibuprofen, paracetamol, behavioral adjustments. Yeah, so tension headaches, one of the things apparently that really helps is behavioral adjustment, because often they are triggered by something. Hunger, you could eat more. Anger, you could do anger management, all that sort of stuff. I don't have all these issues, but I notice for my headache that behavioral adjustments are needed, because when I do things, when I overstimulate myself, I basically I overstimulate the headache. No, I feel less of the headache. I mean, because I am overstimulated. So my behavioral adjustments are to, sadly, I used to be on the computer because there's no better overstimulant than me working on 3D projects. Stuff like that was perfect for this condition. It was not fixing the condition, but it was helping. Sadly, because of my eyes, I can no longer be behind the computer So I'm gonna have to find ways to do other stuff now. And one of the things I thought to do was playing piano. Once again, not gonna fix it, but it's gonna help making my eyes less bad, I think. Preventative. You can apparently prevent this with amitriptyline, but which is for people who have tension headaches every other day. It's a TCA, and this medicine comes with a big warning list, meaning that I am most likely never gonna try this ever. Well, that was the headaches. That's all I learned. 2 days. 1.5 hours of talking. I'm gonna order Tylenol 3. I'm gonna actually buy food that is anti-inflammatory to see if that maybe has an effect. I'm gonna try a lot of ginger, I guess. Now my first vlog should have been yesterday. Did not do that. I was at Mandy's place. By the way, I still have my girlfriend. And I don't know if she was my girlfriend when I did my last vlog. It's really long ago. Well, she's still with me. She still loves me, and that's really good. I mean, I'm getting crazy over whatever I'm feeling, but she's still with me. I don't know. It's not gonna last forever if I keep this up. But it's going well. We're going strong, and if I can get this bit of confidence by getting not such red eyes, when I could actually, look at somebody and feel like, it's me, I'm healthy. If I could actually lie to myself like that, or at least have that, then I think I could hold on for some time longer. But I really, really need that. So no more computer after this. My next vlog will definitely not be this long, but this is really therapeutic for me, and I feel like this is kind of my legacy, this is proof. Let's say that I die tomorrow, you can look at this, and I don't think anybody will look at this, so I need to make some kind of plan where if I die, people can look this up to heed my final words or to heed what I did. Maybe encourage them to do something faster, to do what you can. Yeah, I need to think about all that. But for now, I need to get my mind off of things. This was a really long fucking session of 1.5 hours. I took my medicine. Should be working already. Optimal effect is in about 2 hours after I took it. So, whatever. Next on my list for tomorrow, nothing specifically. Tomorrow's Friday. Guess I should make some sort of a planning. Guess I should do that. Stay off the computer as much as possible. Organize these things. Top. Bam. Yeah, there we go. So tomorrow I'm gonna fill in my PQRT, my PQRST of pain. So for each symptom. So I'm gonna actually try and figure out a new counterattack. I'm gonna write down the things that make this all a bit better. And avoid the things that make it worse. I'm gonna really think about that. And I'm gonna play some piano. Whatever, man. I'm so tired. Holy fuck. Tired. And I'm pretty sure if you're tired, you should make ready for bed. Or whatever the fuck. It's 10 o'clock almost. Hey Google. What do you do when you are tired?
Here is some information from the web that might possibly help. On the website nhs.uk, they say, you might feel that exercise is the last thing on your mind. But, in fact, regular exercise will make you feel less tired in the long run, so you'll have more energy. Even a single 15-minute walk can give you an energy boost, and the benefits increase with more frequent physical activity.
Okay, well, I expected her to say sleep, but whatever. I'm not done yet. Tomorrow is another vlog. I'm gonna keep at this till I find a solution or die. Also, I bought this thing. It's not too expensive. It's an Attack on Titan cape. Now, I noticed that ever since I was a child, I've been revisiting everything that I liked as a kid, and capes are definitely one of the things I liked. Turns out this thing is a pretty nice blanket too. It's got a cap like this, you can go all around. Yeah, this is nice. Looks ridiculous, but it's really nice. I made a custom button in it with a little help of my mom's. So this, the first button was actually right here, down here, so it would like, go all the way up. I think I set an alarm, but not really for a reason. Who cares? Anything that I missed, I'll talk about tomorrow. So, see you then.